Good day and Ramadan Mubarak, Ramadan Kareem to our Muslim brothers. The federal government had declared today and Wednesday as public holidays to mark the end of the Ramadan period. And fortunately, because the moon was not sighted yesterday, the fasting continues today. So the federal government has had to add another additional 1 day to the public holiday. So in the mood of the season, we say Happy Eid al-Fitr in advance. Thank you very much and welcome to the conversation on TV 360. My name is Nelson Ekujimi and I have here with me in the studio Comrade Titi Lope Akosa, Executive Director, Center for 21st Century Issues. Comrade Titi, you are welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Yes, today we are going to look at a wide range of issues and starting with the latest electricity tariff increase for Band A has been on the front burner, and Nigerians has been speaking, and as a result of the discussion, the conversation around this electricity tariff increase, the National Electricity Regulatory Commission has had to organize stakeholders meeting to educate and inform Nigerians about the electricity tariff increase, what it means. People on Band A are customers who enjoy about 20 hours or more, and there are other bands like Band B, Band C, Band D, that enjoy lesser hours. But there's this misinformation out there from expected quarters that this increase is not justifiable. Oh, why now? And for people like us, we have always asked, when is it right to take a right decision? Because if you ask me, the epileptic power supply, public power supply that we are currently facing in Nigeria from time immemorial has been as a result of poor investment in the electricity sector. Electricity costs money. For example, if I don't have public power supply in my community or in my home, I recognize that I have to provide alternative power, and the cost of alternative power, it's astronomical. It's a big drain on the purse of an individual, on the purse of a business, and even talking about the economic implication of that using private power supply. You also look at the environmental hazards. We are polluting the air. So for me, if we can have a conversation around this electricity sector to ensure that every stakeholder play its part, I don't shortchange the discourse by bypassing or through electricity theft, and they're also providing electricity for me based on my consumption. I see no reason why we cannot have a stable power supply. But like the Minister for Power rightly said, the reason for this electricity tariff increase for this segment of consumers is to save the industry from total collapse. The man has been speaking from day one that the government has been subsidizing the electricity industry, humongously. And people have, they decide that they don't want to hear that explanation. Just give us power even if we are not paying. And I don't know where you can get a free meal anywhere in the world, even in Freetown. It's not. So for me, I am totally on the page that there is a need for us to have a conversation. The present rates, if it is not, convenient for the discos to do business and provide us, adequate power supply, then let us decide how much are we going to pay and how many hours are you ready to give me power supply? Because I know in this country, as we speak, comrade, I know of some communities, I know of some environments where they enjoy almost 24 hours power supply. And it is because those communities or those environments had a conversation with the discos. And that conversation, was tailored around the costs. And the consumer said, okay, we are ready to pay. And because of that, they are enjoying. So when people say, no, there's nowhere in the country where they are enjoying 24 hours supply, I said, no, It's because you don't know. If people who are involved can tell you their own story.
Yeah, I think the issue of electricity tariff increase is deeper than what we are seeing, and I need, as much as it may be necessary at times to increase the tariff, there are other issues that governments must look into to actually show that they are sincere in the matter. One of those issues is, you remember that when they did this unbundling, some years back.
The privatization.
The privatization.
That was in 2012, under former President Goodluck Jonathan.
The essence of privatization is to have competition.
Yes.
So that if you cannot give me good light, I'll go to those who can give me.
Have alternatives.
And then there was this rollout of prepaid meters,
yes,
which started. Till today, we have not been able to have 100% coverage of that.
Absolutely, I agree with you.
So, and then we also understand that people are still getting estimated bills,
billing,
crazy bills.
Yeah, absolutely.
As we speak.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Government should speak to that.
Yeah,
very
important.
I agree
with you. Yeah, that's very true.
You see, because when you are saying we are raising tariff, it's easy to raise tariff and say...
Not for everybody.
Oh, yeah, I agree with you. It's not for everybody. You understand?
Yes.
So I believe that the issue of ruling out prepaid meters should also be very, very uppermost on the mind of government here. And then again, you see, the discourse came out and started explaining their problems and things. See, let me tell you one thing. I believe that when private sector takes on things that has been driven by the public sector before, they should do better. But I must say, these people are not doing well. See, the national grid continues to collapse. Who is collapsing it? Who should deal with the problem of collapsing national grid? Even when the national grid collapses, all those people you say that has 24 hours light or so, they are also affected about this. So, see, the conversation around energy or electricity is something that government needs to really sit down and pinpoint where the problems are, and then we'll begin to fix them one by one. Even, let me tell you the truth, even those who bought the NEPA, they are all problems themselves. I can remember huge amount of money that has been given to them at a concessional rate just to develop this sector. Where is this money? What have they done with it?
Yes, you know, when we started, we said we need to have a conversation around this issue. One, I agree with you that I'm also looking at, can we have a legal framework binding the discos, the gencos, and the consumers? Because you talked about the performance. I will give you my own personal example. In my area, there was a time we had a pole fell, and you believe that for over 2 weeks, they didn't come to replace that pole.
That's the private sector.
The private sector, and I was telling them, I even had to tell them that, look, when this electricity was in the hand of PHCN, we graduated from NEPA to PHCN. I said, if we have this type of problem, I can assure you, under 48 hours, it will be replaced. What we have discovered over the years is that these private entrepreneurs called the discos, it's like they are not interested in investing in the electricity sector to ensure that we have power.
Regular power.
But when you talk about the collapse of the national grid, the national grid is not in the hands of the discos. It's in the hand of the federal government. We have gencos.
I agree with you. That was why I said there are different problems at different
absolutely. At different segments
around the value chain. So what I would advise really is this, that, well, for those who are enjoying 24 hours light or 20 hours light per day, yes, with prepaid meters, so that you pay for what you use.
Absolutely.
Well, it could be a bit fair, because if you have 20 hours light, it's a real good thing for you to do your business.
Even for the economy,
Even for the economy. But then,
and even the environment.
Then again, we must start rethinking again. Those people within those bands, are they residential? Are they industrial? There are things we need to think around. Because if it is industrial, it means you are adding more to their production cost. And will that help to bring down inflation? Those are questions we need to ask ourselves. Yeah, residential areas, fine. You can determine if I want to use this light to power my generator, or sorry, to power my electricity, aircon or not. You decide when to use. When you are not in your house, you can switch off your light so that you don't use, you understand? Yeah. You can manage your light with the amount of electricity you buy. But for somebody who is into production, and we want a productive economy. We don't want a consumption economy. And the only way we can drive a productive economy is to have regular power supply. Yeah. So if the power supply is costing them a fortune, as if even if they go and use generator that they are using, it's almost the same, then what have we gained?
Well, I don't want to believe that
I'm not saying that is it. Yes, I'm just trying to. We need to look deeper. Yes. Do a deep dive to see where it is, where this cost will go to. If it will not eventually go back into goods, finished products, where at the end of the day, consumers will still pay more for it.
I recognize that one of the beauty of this new electricity tariff is that it has increased the consciousness of Nigerians, because everywhere now everybody is discussing about it, either correctly or ignorantly or mischievously. So the beauty of it is that I think we need to hold NERC by, hold them accountable, in the sense that if NERC is doing their job, it will ensure that every participant along the value chain is alive to this or because I know for free, like you spoke about estimated billing. There was a time in my house, I'm not even using AC as at that time. I was given an estimated bill of between 27,000 to 40,000, and I was like, what am I using? How many hours do I have light?
So I think for AC, they should have a decisive decision on to stop estimated bills.
You even know what somebody told me. Somebody said his meter had a problem, and he went to
get the meter
to the discos that this meter is faulty. That they came and retrieved the meter, and
they didn't bring back another.
They didn't bring, and they were giving. So I want a situation whereby, if that's why I said we need to have a conversation. If my meter is faulty, or you cannot meter me, then I think we should have a fixed rate, such that if my meter is faulty and you have removed it, within 1 week, if you don't replace that meter, then the law should be that we should have this legal framework around it. I should not pay for electricity,
of course, that you
within that time, because it is not my fault. Yes, because what we have discovered, even though this electricity tariff increase is another discussion.
Honestly, and I think to put all this nonsense to rest, let states start developing their own electricity. There is a law which empowers them now.
Even the
let there be competition.
Well, we know the electricity industry has now become
deregulated. Yes, states can generate.
That is under the concurrent list. Let states, even nothing stops a local government, if it has the power, if it has the infrastructure, to start planning along that line. Maybe in 20 years' time, Ikeja local government could have its own electricity plant.
Supplying 20,000 years. I think a lot of
maybe in 20 years, I mean.
A lot of states have started taking that initiative, and they should let it happen quickly.
Yes, we just hope that
that's all.
This discussion will energize Nigerians to start, holding those.
For instance, I live in that band now because in my house I have at least nothing less than 22 hours electricity, and I've been enjoying. I don't use generator. I don't use. So when they said they are improving, I said, well, it is either I choose I want to pay, or I leave that place. So, and I will not leave because it pays me to have 24 hours. I do everything my business.
You cannot measure the cost.
So
well, this is we will allow the.
And I will manage the way I use my electricity.
Yes.
That's it.
We will allow the conversation to continue by Nigerians, but we can be rest assured that this is a topic that we'll revisit another day. We'll go on a short break. We'll be right back. Please continue to watch the conversation coming to you from TV 360.